I'm just going to come into some of the questions. They're not necessarily, I don't think they're too relevant to this subject today, but I want to bring them in anyway. I am curious of context. With all due respect, I crave to know more about beliefs and truth about being saved and what the Bible speaks. I get curious as to if it's even true. When it's come to spirituality, what's really helped me, especially if you're doubting what's true, what's not true, for me, it's been a handful of mushrooms and Mama Nature. That's where all my truth comes from. Psilocybin mushrooms are the color blue for a reason. They're opening up your throat chakra. They're aligning you to truth. When you start mixing psilocybin mushrooms with honey, you can actually dance and communicate like the bees. So that's why I'm such an advocate for blue honey. So that would be my sacrament to try to find my truth and my own divinity. But that, that may for somebody be God. That may for somebody be Jesus. That may for somebody be talking to a bush and turning into Moses, or getting the message from Noah. Who knows how these things started? If you watch anything on, who was it? Oh man, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his last name. His first name's Brian. He did the Immortality Key. So if you check out the Immortality Key, that will, and also who was another one? John Allegro. They both talk about psychedelics along all the religion bases. So they're both great resources there. Sacred Mushroom and the Cross is the John Allegro book. I can't remember the name of the guy who did Immortality Key, but I just did a training with him through the Dennis McKenna, the McKenna Academy with Dennis McKenna and this Brian guy. So it is cool, a cool resource. That would be, for me, it's been a sacrament. That's how I've done it in my past to get those answers. And I truly believe that in what Terence McKenna said, which is, don't follow a guru, be your own guru. If it's true, it's true. You don't have to pussyfoot around the real thing. It's not going to, you don't have to mold and bend to it. If it's true, it will always be true, no matter what. So it doesn't really matter what you do or what that belief system is, or, what your questions are. It will produce, it will be real for you. And it's going to be, what's real for one person is going to be real, is going to be different for another person too. It's just like diet, we're all so unique. Our spirits and our soul are so unique too. Who's to say that not all of it is true? Who's to say that it's just one thing? If there's one thing that Mama Nature teaches us, is that diversity is key. And there are some old religions that talk about Jesus hiding the key inside of us, inside of our heart, where nobody can find it, which prove that we are in our own right divine beings. There are so many things here that we can go into. I'm not, a religious person per se, but I am very spiritual. My personal beliefs is that, there is a divine intelligence inside of us, but inside of everything, inside of the animals too, where they are connected to the collective consciousness. Only they are maybe quite more divine than us, in that they don't need the same type of words. Communication is one of those things where, even though it put us in a sense ahead of our monkey ancestors, it also got us stuck in the culture trap. So, there's different ways that we can go about this. I can see Tristan put in some resources there that you guys can access too, which is cool, for the Immortality Key. And then beliefs and truth. Yeah, it's going to be different for everybody. What was it that John Lennon said? He said, who knows? He said, I believe in everything. I believe in the dragons. I believe in the fairies. I believe in all that stuff. Who's to say that what you dream isn't real? Who's to say that reality is only this and just that? And it made me really think, it's like, with all of the books on dreams today, science still has no idea what the dream state is. In fact, science actually, we also don't know what dark matter is, but they call it this negative term, which really means energy, and is made and makes up everything more so than the actual atoms do. There is also junk DNA, another thing that's just this black matter of space. Science doesn't quite understand, so they give it this negative stigma and keep talking about all the stuff they talk about. But meanwhile, this junk DNA is actually, the key to epigenetics and how it is that we can change our own DNA and how we can empower ourselves to be in control of how good we feel and how optimal we can live as human beings. So I mean, there are some crazy rabbit holes here that you guys can go down, and I hope that something here resonates with you, and that if this is of interest to you, that you really do explore it for yourself, because it's so liberating and it's so empowering, and it's so great to just expose yourself to all of these other theories and all of these other amazing people, and to just have the open mind and the open heart to accept that everybody, in some sense has a little bit of understanding, and that you for yourself can do the integration work to find your own truth in your own understanding. It's not ever going to be anything that I tell you. It's not going to be anything that anybody else tells you. It's going to be what makes sense to you and what you believe is true for yourself. At the end of the day, that is the truth.